Hello and welcome to something different in betweeny thing. Since the mod developers actually managed to introduce a little bug in our previous Little Hearts of Iron series, yeah, gotta do something in between. Welcome to Tank Mechanic Simulator. I was actually blessed with a key a very long time ago, about more than a month ago, and I actually kind of looked over this in my inbox, even though I requested it. So when I started seeing some footage of this coming up again, I actually just searched my inbox and actually noticed I had a key. So thanks for the devs for giving me access to the demo beta version to test, and I was free to record and show you off. So yeah, woo! We got some tank simulating we can do. Yeah. What's this game about? Well, if you know Car Mechanic Simulator, it's kind of like that, but with tanks, and it focuses a lot more on interior or exterior usage than compared to engines. Engines are fairly basic. So I dug up this tiger out of a flipping swamp, and what we can do is try to fix it. Now there are a couple of things you can do in the method of fixing, but in my experience, it's I think the easiest thing is actually to buy all new parts and just strip it, clean the hull, and buy new parts. Not everything is in yet. I think the upgrade. Okay, there it is. I bought all. Oh, yeah, I did buy all upgrades that are possible. As you can see, there are a couple of them which are not yet available because it is still a demo. So you get like things like parts crafting, extra museum related things, drones, workshop level upgrades. But yeah. So yeah, here you got it. And you tend to get these rusty pieces of junk, and well, first things first, you have to clean them up. And there you got these tools for, and you can use that to clean up the entire tank. Now I'm gonna just time-lapse a lot of the work because I'm just gonna fix this entire tank in this episode, and there will be bits where I'll be talking, there will be bits where I won't be talking, but there's a lot of interesting stuff around to see. So let's just clean up a little bit and just show you like, okay, you know, I got this stuff, you gotta clean off. There we go. But, you know, what's a very common thing with rusted over things that have spent years in mud, in gog? It is that these things here, you see those bolts? You will not be able to get them off. So as you can see, I can get these two out. These two seem to be fine. These are not fine. It means I cannot take this part off like that. There are several ways to solve this problem. Let's remove this step ladder because it's annoying me. Yeah, I like that actually. You could just put that anywhere you want. I'm also going to just do something else real quick. I'm going to take the turret off as well as... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to take out the engine. Right, and seems the step ladder wants to teleport into me when I'm doing that. Might be resetting the moment I do it. Anyway, yeah, I cannot get this thing off. Now, you can use a hammer. That's the method I use, but then you damage the part. So what you also can do, and I've never really experimented a lot with this, you can, if you put it on, let's see, it's now on grinding mode, but it's on grinding mode, it's used to, like, the same as the other thing I was using, it's to grind off rust. But you've also got the cutting mode, and you can use that to cut out bolts. So I'm going to cutting on a bolt. There we go. Bolts out. That bolts out. That bolts out, and that bolt is. There we go. And the part just falls off and gets some inventory. Now, what might happen, and I don't know that for sure, is that this part is now partially damaged because. It had to be broken off, and as you can see, you cannot, I think, paint individual parts. So what I could just check out to test right now, so we'll go into assembly mode. We got the road wheel, so we'll insert the road wheel. Yeah, it's gonna got these two screws. Now I don't know how to fix this unless you can just outsource the repairs. Now I don't think we can even repair this part if we want to. That just reset my tools. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm not really an expert yet in playing this game, nor will I ever probably be. I'm kind of surprised that you missed the tools like that. So I don't, as far as I can know, there is no way to fix broken parts. Is there a? Let's see. Yeah, hammer. Remember, each condition will decrease on hit. Yeah. So is there like a way to fix that? Disassembly. Tank has any screws, all of them need to be also unscrewed. Different parts are put in the storage panel. Okay, but that means I might need to outsource some of the repairs. See, I'm still learning this game, even though I've got a couple of hours in it. Screws. Right. Hammer, direct with garnet cutter, wrench pistol. Yeah, but the wrench pistol doesn't exist yet. Some screws are rusted and need special treatment when they interact with them. To be able to remove rusted screws, I can use a hammer. Yeah, but this means that so what I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna just take off all of the parts and outsource repairs and then buy the missing ones. I do believe I've got a bit of money. But yeah, like, oops, I just clicked outside my window. The mouse doesn't fully lock when you open Windows. Anyway, it is still beta, so we can remove the road wheel. We can start removing some parts. If it's not screwed down, it should tend to be a very easy job to get rid of it. Now, I don't know if I outsource the repairs. For instance, now I've got some stuff. I'll look at my inventory and it all. See, this is all fully sanded, but this thing got, whacked. If I outsource repairs on this one, does it come back painted? That's an interesting question. I believe, looking at the timing here, it does. It also starts draining my money, apparently. Wow. But I cannot repair them in the inventory, it seems like. If this comes back a full 100%, it's okay, I guess. Kind of sad for now. I think that's gonna become when you get the when they get the upgrade in at some point where you can get the crafting table. New parts, each part requires its own crafting number requirements. Yeah, but there is no real fixing of parts unless they're on the tank. That's something I would like to see, which is in Car Mechanic Simulator. So for now, I think this might still be the cheaper way. I've got the storage. This thing cost me like $200, right? Yeah, but it is a full quality item. So, okay. 225. That's the value right now, actually. So cost of operation. It's actually not that expensive, but yeah. All right. Okay, I'm gonna strip down and I'm gonna clean all the parts that I can, and then I'm gonna strip down the tank, and I'll be back when I go into the assembly mode. But there is some work to do, like the torsion bars here that are hidden. There's a lot of stuff hidden behind other stuff. So yeah, see you guys when that's ready. Right, so the gun, I mean the tank is now completely stripped of rust, which is what you could see me check. Basically 66% means that it's completely fixed, but you have got a lot of, still got a lot of missing parts, like all the road wheels have been taken off, even though I've got them in my inventory. I don't know if I buy missing parts. I will actually buy all of the missing parts of just the ones that are not in my inventory, so I'm not going to risk it for that. So what I'm going to do next is just paint the tank and reassemble it as we go, because you might have noticed that a lot of stuff was hidden behind other stuff. I had to kind of search. That's why we're disassembling, because you just cannot reach every single part just out of the box. So yeah, basically stuff like the torsion bars, like especially the rear torsion bars, is something I cannot reach. So what I'm going to do now is just going to paint the parts that are on the tank. Once that is all done, we're going to insert a layer of parts, paint those, and rinse and repeat. So yeah, it's got to be painting, and everything is going to be put into a primer layer. Now, something you might have noticed that some parts looked done, and they weren't. Because the game actually, well, if you want to, prove it's still on beta, parts have to be touched by the player. So I can spray this, but this hatch now is not ready yet until I do this. And now it's ready, the radio operator hatch. It's a bit weird, but it's okay. But for instance, I can show you here. This is one of the ammo hatches. And I'll paint all of the ammo hatches, right? Now, one of these ammo hatches is considered not to be painted. Okay, prove me wrong. Okay, sometimes it apparently happens. It's not all of the times, but it happens often enough that it is massively annoying. And you sometimes have to just search for parts, which is a little annoying. Anyway, so like I removed the battery here. So what I'm going to do is going to drop this thing. Hopefully it doesn't go anywhere really bad. Get the new battery box in. All right, that battery box is actually fixed, of course, because all the parts that I still had are fixed by the other things. So that's actually a bit of an, I guess, a bit of an advantage. Paint that, paint that. So all the parts we've taken off are completely fixed. I don't think we need to do anything about the engine. Apparently I do need to paint it, but it doesn't change any colors. Usually fairly quick and easy job, and then it's just a turret. But yeah, sometimes it's like small parts. Like here you've got the muzzle brake, then you've got the inner barrel sleeve, then you've got the outer sleeve cover, then you've got the mantlet protection sleeve. So there's and as they go, it seems that tanks become more and more detailed. Now I do hope that at some future point they will make the engines more detailed, because right now they are fairly basic, which is not something I really mind. Just something I hope that is an addition for the future. So yeah, let's go in here and touch up some of these parts, and you might notice that I go in. Actually, I can do this probably all on my own. When you get to the tank, you can actually get inside the tank, which is actually fairly useful to paint stuff which is inside here, like the turret traverse wheels and chairs and those specific viewports, that kind of stuff. Because like I said, it does touch everything with the spray, but it doesn't always confirm that it is right and done. So let's go to the loader slot. I think we've got everything in the turret. Let's go quick into the driver's slot. I love how this gun here is already fully with wood and everything already. And yeah, audio is a little bit annoying, so let's turn it off. And the radio operator slot, and I think we've got everything covered. So let's leave. We'll check. Tank analysis should all be 100% with the primer on, even though, yeah, it doesn't have any paint coat. So we missed the loader's hatch. Yep. Okay, so I believe that might have been one of the panels here. Oh, these are ammo hatches. Loader's hatch must be on the turret. Oh, right, it's one of the... See, it's nearly fully painted. There we go, loader's hatch. Right, that means that everything currently on the tank that we can do is done. We've got full primer and everything on the line, so we can drop this. We no longer need this for primer. Now we can get any more fun part and start assembling everything. Now, we have, of course, a lot of missing parts, but I don't know if... I can actually check it. So we've got a couple of... Put a lip on it. We'll check for... how do we do it again? All right, yeah. Buy missing parts, still 7743. So add in a couple of suspension arms and see if this lowers the cost of everything. But I doubt that it will. So then we'll just need to spend the 7,000 on getting these suspension or the missing pieces. So this is a really neat option. I wish that no, it stays the same. So buy the remaining parts. I wish that Car Mechanic Simulator had that feature, because it's sometimes, you know, you're just the endless list of parts. What I tend to do is just I strip the car clean, and after that I repair stuff to the max. If it cannot be repaired, I'll just scrap it and buy the remaining bits. But you're always like, okay, I want to insert this. Okay, do I have that? And then you've got the tuning shop that you know, got those parts that you can take a look at, and then all that kind of stuff, and blah blah blah. So the removal of parts that you saw me do with cutting them off, that will eventually, you can get an upgrade that allows you to just have a drill bit. Not really a drill. It's the it's a pneumatic. What you call it? A pneumatic screwdriver, which is I really cannot translate this for a second now, because I know the Dutch word for it, but that won't help you guys. It is called a wrench pistol. All right, sure. But it knocks, I believe these ones also knock on the material, so they jiggle the screw loose. Plus they're pneumatic, so they are a little bit more powerful. And the knocking is there to prevent the screw from breaking as easily. I don't know how I'm, getting these screws in, but for now I'll just accept it. There are a lot of things that I guess are still need to be done. Like these screws seem to be actually being screwed in, but the others weren't. So yeah, there's some work left, but this game is not even released yet. This is just an early demo build, which is only available on request to begin with. And me being a YouTuber and all, I got pretty damn lucky. But yeah, I like these types of games. I use them to de-stress a lot. Like I've got a couple of 100 hours in Euro Truck Simulator. I've got a couple of 100 hours in various car mechanic simulators. These games just tend to calm me down. And then you might say like, well, Chris, or Demosa, whatever you want to call me, why don't you just fix a real car? I would love to. But 1, I don't have the equipment to fix a car. 2, I don't have the knowledge to fix a car. Let's be honest here. 3, I don't even have a garage. So those 3 factors kind of withhold me. I have though, and I might have told this before, I have at some point fixed an old motorcycle. Well, motorcycles, it's like a small 50cc thing. I think after I got it running, it didn't go faster than like 40 kilometers an hour, which is about 25-ish miles, I believe, just top of my head here. So yeah, it was slow. It was really slow, but that thing had stood out in the rain for about a year, so the entire engine block was rusted. So cleaned that out, fixed, and because the thing was from the 1965, I believe it was built, or something along those lines. I can't remember the exact date. It might be 1968 now that I think about it. There was very little electric. So it was fairly easy to fix, as it was mostly a mechanical problem. So I spent a long time cleaning out all the gunk, de-rusting it, all that kind of stuff. But I was able to do that at my parents' place, and the neighbor, my old neighbor, basically used to fix like these old motorcycles. And he helped me with the knowledge that I did not have, and I'm kind of happy. And I did not, because that's a big point actually, refurbish the gearbox, because that thing was rusted shut and required a lot of specialist tools. So I got that to a specialist, or he claimed to be a specialist, but yeah, that gearbox was pretty shitty after done. I think, as far as I could tell, he just basically managed to build in something that would fit. And that's about it. So no original parts, which kind of pissed me off because it was really expensive and he claimed he could do it, but he did a shit job because when the engine got hot, the plates would no longer connect and it would start slipping, so then I need to cool down fully and it was a shit show. So yeah, if I had to do a long drive, especially on a hot day, because I only used to drive that thing in summer, you know, it's like a little moped that's I think closer to what it was. Yeah, it was a bit of a shit show, to be honest. Wasn't too happy about it. Okay. Apparently that's a slightly different road wheel. But yeah, I loved the thing, but I had to sell it eventually, sadly enough. Even though it was completely fixed, I still had to paint it though, which is something that I wanted to do at some point, but you know, painting requires a lot of specialist tools again, which I didn't have, and like a painting box and sandblasting and all that kind of stuff. Like putting the rust off, that kind of stuff. Like getting rust off is fairly easy, but then you have to sandblast it as well. And the plates were pretty good shape, so it wasn't really like a necessity, but something I wanted to do to make it, you know, a bit more shiny again. But I had to sell it when I moved because it couldn't stay in my parents' house. And I have a little bit of a shed here, but I live in an apartment complex and I have like this, I don't know, like 4 square meters of shed space basically in the first floor of the house, like the lowest floor. We don't have a basement, but yeah, I wasn't allowed to store it there because it is a motorcycle, so it's a fire hazard, which is kind of funny because the cycle itself is was empty. No, because I could easily drain the fuel, but just pulling out the fuel lead, and it's not a lead or tube, which is the bottom of the tank. You could just, you know, put it into like a old Coca-Cola bottle. But they took issue with the fact that I had a moped there, but they didn't take issue with the fact that the fuel was standing next to it, because that thing was the fire hazard, definitely not the fuel. It was in the bottles next to it. But yeah, so I had to sell it because I couldn't store it anywhere else, or storage would have been too expensive, and I'm still a student. And the fact that it wasn't really working full time and wasn't really worth my while to keep it around, you know, quite often it wouldn't run because the plates would start slipping again, and that wasn't funny. Especially when, you know, I've had this when I was like took it for a drive, and then when I came back, or you know, like after 45 minutes, like the gearbox would start acting up, and you would just, you know, stranded wherever you were, and you had to push the thing back home because it would just refuse to, you know, like the engine would run, but it would definitely not. Come on, you know, it wouldn't put any power to the back wheel. And you just hear this terrible noise of metal on metal slipping, which was definitely not sounded like fun. But I had a lot of fun fixing it up as far as I could. And I am planning on, when I get a new place, when I'm done with college, and I might at some point be able to afford to buy a fucking house. Who knows? At some point, maybe even I might be able to buy a house. But hopefully at that point I could buy a garage, and I'll buy like an old motorcycle, like around the 1950s, 60s, like those which do not have like large amounts of electronics in it. Because I can fix, like, I believe up to 80% of those on my own. I wouldn't need to buy a couple of tools, especially for painting. But that would be about it. So that's actually, you know, let's be honest, it's not that bad. And where I got this knowledge, just trial and error, and old engines and old is a lot easier to fix because they're a lot more, they're built a lot more sturdy than anything else. So like right here, you can notice how the simplicity of these engine parts compared to what they did in Car Mechanic Simulator. I'm really hoping that at some point they will add that complexity, but I doubt they will ever do that. Now let's get the air vent cover in. Alright, so get the radiator cap on. It's kind of funny, I can actually put the all these caps and that kind of stuff back on before I can do the before I got the engine in, but it seems to be working fine. Got a tow rope here, got a couple of fastening clamps here. And now we have to paint the entire damn thing. Yeah, that might actually become a problem, but well, we'll figure it out. Might need to do a little bit more deassembling, but I think everything is on it. So let's just check real fast. Missing a loader seat. But it's loader seat and a dipstick in the engine, okay? As well as the vibration dampener, which is a part of the engine, so let's figure out what a fucking oil tank is. Oh yeah, that dipstick thing, I might need to be able to fix it differently. We'll move the engine to the tank, and I'll go and get the loader seat in. There we go. Okay, so there we go. No, modules, turret back on the tank. Okay, so there we go. I think it's nearly finished. Yeah, it's the dipstick that's missing. I think that gets done when you try to get some fluids in it. And there's the, I was missing another part, wasn't I? Yeah, vibration dampener. Yeah, what's showing me the dipstick? There we go. Assemble or disassemble. What was I saying? I cannot assemble this part, but there's the there's some missing another part somewhere. Oh, there we go. Probably need to get the thing out. Okay. No. Yes. There we go. Get out. There we go. Vibration dampener. There we go. Luckily, I've got all the upgrades, so this is a fairly fast job. And then there was the dipstick, which I now no longer can see. Sometimes, okay, yeah, there you go. Okay, no, okay, so I didn't have to do it like that. Right, cool. So get the modules. So what I can do now is, I did reset my tools, didn't I? All right, I forgot to go and paint the entire damn thing. Now, what I can do also is here in the, I need to move the tank in here first. Well, let's get the tank moving then. No, yes, and we'll move it to the museum paint room. There we go. Another bit about it being in here is that you can no longer disassemble parts. So if I change it to painting mode, but I also can now, look at that, I can actually give it a color. So it also has its original color, but anthracite seems like a fine color to me. And the funny thing is, it actually doesn't really matter. I kind of like and dislike it, but now you just got to like the painting, and this thing will have its base color and that kind of stuff, what it will be. But when it's fully painted, you can just switch it with that table to whatever color you want it to be. And I find it weird that I'm like also painting stuff that I'm like, why would I be painting this right now? Like pieces of road wheel, but there's like stuff now behind the wheels that I cannot paint, and I cannot disassemble and paint at the same time. So I'll probably just go through the outer layers and then show you some stuff, and I'll fix it off in my own damn time, I guess. Seems this one is a desert version, considering it's camo or paint layer that's put from the factory. You can actually check it by going to tank analysis. Like this is the paint camo, and then there's the factory paint on it. So I didn't change that yet. So this thing's gonna be just like that. I'm just gonna quickly paint it over, and you can see it in its bigger glory. And then it's not gonna be a long job, because considering I probably won't do a full paint job, just get all the stuff painted that I can see real fast at the outside. So no more rat spots, but like all the wheels, I probably have to take them off and paint them separately, because this game's a bit of a bitch about that. You can't reach it. So and this is, like I said, I want to be able to paint individual parts, that kind of stuff, because right now like this tank looks painted, except for the smoke launcher right there and some fuel port. But the tank looks pretty painted to me. Well, however, all those back wheels will not be pulled yet somehow. I need to quickly inside. No, I cannot do that in here. Tank status, no. Yes. I want to get into the tank, get into the commander seat. I'll quickly paint all of this. So yeah, basically paint until you've got no longer any red spots. Then we'll go to the gunner seat. Paint what I can reach, basically. I'll go to the loader seat. Get both hatches. Got those on the other side as well. The driver slot. Get the seat done. Oh, that's a red seat. Okay, that's a little bit confusing. But yeah, stuff like this. Like, I cannot paint the torsion bars from inside the tank, and we got the radio operator slot. And we just, there we go. That's about as good as I can do. So we get out and turn this off. I can actually probably just reach that row wheel from here. Let's see a couple of like these row wheels. Let's do those real fast. That's not a red row wheel. What I'm looking at here. Well, it looks like a red road wheel to me. Okay, not anymore. There we go. Managed to get that one. But yeah, there's these small torsion bar pieces that are not painted yet. Okay, so this looks... Oh, missed another piece. Alright, if you look at it, you got a lot of it. But probably when you get to the tracks... Oh, I did all of them. Cool. Okay, not bad. So this thing is now fully 100% restored. And now with this, I could do like a Tiger 131 thing. And I would prefer to have this at a... Wow. How about a 180 degree angle? Because that's the other way around. Not 81, there you go. Come on. I can make a Tiger 131 and then it needs to get the desert cam. Okay, you could do a lot of stuff on this, but I think I want to go for the classic German gray. Or black gray. That looks like a German, and I will put the I don't know what the Tigers used for standardization. I can actually look that up. Tiger 1 photo. Let's see if I can get a historical photo of the side of and where the just numbers. There was not a Wehrmacht logo on it? No. Oh yeah, it was. Okay, I got it. So there was a logo here. It's slightly bigger, I guess. Okay, so there are hotkeys here. I can actually take a look at. So there's a rather logo here, and there was a number. And they use these, yeah, they use these thin ones. So around. That's rotating bits. J and L. These keys are a bit weird. There'll be a number right around here. So that is about as historically accurate as I can make it from a picture that I just found. Apply. And oops, we've got ourselves a tank. We're not fully done yet, so we're going to bring this thing back to the workshop. Because currently it has no... Oh, fuck, and I forgot to paint that ring there. Can you please... Oh, you're fully finished. Yeah, this doesn't have paint. Okay, apparently cannot paint outside the paint room, so we have to move the damn thing back to the paint room. Which also resets the tools, which is kind of lucky, I guess. I thought I had everything painted. I thought it said everything was painted. It's not painting it. It's gonna be a bit of a bitch. Yeah, it seems so. God damn it. I got the wrong paint version? Primer mode. It's not willing to be painted. That's a little bit annoying. Does show up as green though. It's a problem. It's that's paint. It's a bit different from anything else. Yeah, 90% paint. That's what. It's a little bit strange. Come on, can you get that 100%? No, it doesn't want to be. Well, it is still beta, so yeah. Can't really work with anything else. Of course, I actually technically would really need to do another one right there, and let's just get this real done fast. Oh, that's upside down now. Fastest rotation in the universe. So 1. That's wrong. 8. Tiger number 18. Apply. Yeah. Well, anyway. Last bits, but not least, we're gonna go and move the damn thing to the workshop. And now, here's some other stuff. Ooh, click that's out my window. There we go. Let's see. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. There's this status menu. No. Yeah, it's on a test drive. And then you can get a fluid menu and fuel. That's fuel canister 1. Hopefully it works. Last time it didn't work for me. I wasn't able to get in the oil in, which, you know, kind of was a shame. So I wasn't able to start the engine because it would keep saying like, hey, there's no oil. All right, so let me go to tank status, test drive options, fuel menu, oil container. Okay, I can get oil in this one. Cool. Okay. All right. This is a little bit hidden though, but it's kind of neat that it's there. Fluid menu. Oh, there we go. I fucked up. So I'm gonna say like, yeah, coolant's not filled. Test drive option. Fluid menu. Coolant. Coolant number 1. So this is that detail again that this game does have, which is kind of funny considering. I'm really annoyed that I cannot paint these final bits, but whatever. I'll take a look at it. I might need to reload somehow and get that done. But now, let's look at the engine. Hopefully it works. Okay.